Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to the Patriot franchise here on Pastors Game 2 here in Madden 26. The week is number 11, but of course, today is not a gameplay day. This is League Update. This is a League Update episode. And so you guys know, man, we're on a little rhythm, man. Week 5, Week 10, Week 15, around those weeks, we do a look around the league just to keep it lively, just to keep it interesting, especially since we're in year number 6 of this franchise. And it can be hard to kind of keep up with who's good and who isn't. So that is why we do these episodes. And so this one, we're going to look at a lot of different things. We're going to look at the key teams, the key players, key injuries. Got a lot of things coming up in this particular episode. Considering making this long form version of the episode, I don't know. I'm still determining whether you guys like the long form or the little like AI generated short form. I'm kind of practicing some things out, trying some things out for some future franchise ideas that I have. So I really hope you guys kind of give me your opinions about the shorter videos, whether they should be 3 minutes or 5 minutes. I'm starting to lean into 5 minutes. Maybe 3 minutes is just too short. So anyway, you may see a 5-minute video that is kind of a quick look at the league, at the key things. But okay, so let's get it started, man. To start things out, it's week 10, and so we just got past the trade deadline. I don't think there were a ton of things going on in the trade deadline. But we do have some very interesting movement with all of our teams. So let's go look at we're going to look at the teams that are the conferences and divisions that have a lot of drama, have some drama next to them. So here we are in the AFC. This is pretty easy. Looking at the AFC West, that's probably the most dramatic conference in this season so far. 6-4, 5-4, 4-5, 4-5. A toss-up in the AFC West. The Chargers are the surprise there. They were not very good last year, and here they are. They are the number 4 team in the AFC. I mean, number 4 team in the AFC. Number 1 team in the AFC West, but of course it could change very quickly. The AFC South is the other dramatic conference with the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans both at a 6-4 record, with the Indianapolis Colts at 5-4. The Colts and that's been an interesting conference or division. I always mix up division and conference. I think it's conference or is it division? I think it's the AFC conference and the AFC South division. Yeah. So that division has always been interesting, the AFC South. So it's been good. So the AFC South and the and the AFC West are probably the top 2 conferences, creating some interesting stuff there in the AFC. Now, looking at the NFC South, we have what I think is the most interesting conference in the season. And it doesn't look like it, but last year it was very interesting. We got the Panthers over there, which is the former Patriot quarterback Rodney Stevenson, and the Saints has Drew Brees. No, not Drew Brees. That's who was there historically. They have the former Cincinnati quarterback. What's his name? Gosh, I can't think of his name right now. Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's over in the Saints. Saints have not been good all franchise long. And here they are. They're 5-5 and making a run for it. I think they started 1-5 or something like that. I think that team is really turning things around. Falcons are a big team as well, and the Bucks. This is a fun little division here. Panthers 6-4, Saints 5-5. Falcons 4-5, and the Buccaneers 4-5 in a very competitive NFC South. Other teams other divisions to pay attention to. The NFC East, also a dramatic one. The Giants are 4-6, Super Bowl champions 2 years ago, and Washington Commanders right now in the lead with 6-3. Eagles 5-4 and Cowboys 5-4 for a dramatic NFC East here in week number 11. And the NFC West is also a pretty competitive one, with the Cardinals leading everything. This is a surprise because the Cardinals have not been very good. in this franchise, and look at them leading the way there. I think the Seahawks was a Super Bowl championship team a few years ago. So those are the look at the divisions, man. You can find your favorite team and see where they are in the season at this particular point. Yeah, that's kind of what's going on with the divisions, man. Very interesting indeed. Let's take a look at the injuries, key injuries for the season. Now, the idea with these injuries, we're looking at players who are 85 and up for the most part, with the exception potentially being the quarterback. If you have a starting quarterback, regardless of what his rating is, we might report on that one. But so far, this is like star players that we are interested in, and these are players that are going to be not week to week. So these are the players that are going to be out for multiple weeks. So we start with the Cincinnati Bengals. They're going to be without their star defensive tackle and veteran Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons is, again, defensive tackle, 89 overall, with a dislocated ankle, going to be out 1 to 3 weeks. We're going to try to fire through these pretty quickly. There's not a whole bunch of them. Here are the Buccaneers. Oh, wait a minute. Looks like the Buccaneers are good. I'm making a mistake here. All right. Let's take the Bucs out. They are healthy. What about, who was I thinking about? Was it the front? Oh, no, yeah. We'll go to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to be without Rashee Rice, their superstar X-Factor wide receiver, out 1 to 3 weeks, 88 overall. He's 30 years old right now in this franchise, and on the back end of his career, Patrick Mahomes is still in this franchise, and so he still needs someone to throw the ball to. Rashee will not be that guy over the next 3 weeks. A very important injury, because that Kansas City, that AFC West, where the Kansas City Chiefs are, is competitive. So once again, Rashee Rice, wide receiver, 88 overall, with a broken finger, 1 to 3 weeks. Next, we have the Commanders. The Commanders have a lot of players week to week this particular week, but they are going to be without the services of Josh Alfaro. Now, he's an 84, and I know that I talked about 85 and up, but he is their starting running back, and a young player at that, 25 years old, going to be out 4 to 8 weeks, again, in a competitive NFC East. That is going to mean something. Washington Commanders have only 3 losses. I think it was 6-3 that they were, and so they are weathering some pretty interesting injuries. Josh Alfaro, Alfaro, will be out, is an 84 overall. He's out with a dislocated ankle for 4 to 8 weeks. Sticking in the NFC East, we're going to look at the Philadelphia Eagles. And they're going to be without their anchor in the middle, superstar X-Factor Jalen Carter. Out with a dislocated ankle as well. Going to be out for 2 to 4 weeks. Interesting thing here, you got Hayden Derby, who's going to be out for 35 to 41 weeks. He's an 82 overall. I don't think he's their starter. But that's a pretty tough situation. Hayden Derby, he's 26 years old, probably in his 3rd year or something like that. Looks like he's going to be out for quite some time. He is on the injured reserve. But Jalen Carter is the big player that they're going to be without. So 92 overall defensive tackle with a dislocated ankle, out 2 to 4 weeks. And we're sticking in the NFC East. Still another defensive player here, another defensive tackle, Dexter Lawrence. 96 overall is Dexter Lawrence. He's going to be out week to week. We'll see if he is going to continue to play. That's going to be very interesting. And then you also have Kareem Forbes. We saw him injured earlier. We reported on that in week 5. He's obviously still injured, 16 to 22 weeks. This is their starting running back, Kareem Forbes. Probably going to have Dexter Lawrence back, so that's not that big a deal. But the Kareem Forbes is a guy that's going to be out for the rest of the season. Giants are struggling at the bottom of that division, and that certainly is not helping their cause. Moving on to the Seattle Seahawks, we're going to have Geo Walker, the cornerback. He's 87 overall with a torn labrum, will be out 3 to 5 weeks. Gio and the Seahawks are also struggling this season, and Gio's going to be out and not going to be able to help them for the next 3 to 5 weeks. We'll see if the Seahawks can rebound from that. And last but not least, we're going to have the Houston Texans, another cornerback, Kamari Lassiter. He has a foot fracture and will be out for 1 to 3 weeks. Houston, again, in a very competitive AFC South. They have a pretty good defense. They may be able to cover this guy who will be out for a little time. So I don't think this is going to hurt the Texans nearly as much as it's hurting some of these other teams. But we'll see. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. Okay. Now let's move on to key trades. There's only a few key trades that we saw made before the trade deadline or right around the trade deadline. We have the Bucks and the Browns, and so I've kind of written this out because this is always a little funky to see on the screen. So I'll just kind of say them and move down on the screen, and you have to kind of check that out. But in this particular, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Cleveland Browns come to terms right in Week 9. The Buccaneers are going to get the left tackle Cameron Williams, and they're going to get Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy he's been with the Browns all this time. He's going to now go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That could definitely do something in that NFC South. And the Buccaneers are going to get the draft pick. They're just going to get a 4th round draft pick for those two players. So they give up a star. I don't know. He's still a very good receiver in Jerry Jeudy, and left tackle. The Browns get a 4th round pick. So very interesting trade right there. The next trade we see is the Steelers and the Saints. The Steelers and the Saints. The Saints are going to pick up a 7th round draft pick for 2032, which is this year, and a 4th round draft pick for 2032. And they're going to pick up the left end Chad Ramsey, who's a 69 overall. The Steelers are going to get a starting right guard in Mike Onwenu. Now, that name should sound familiar for you Patriot fans because Mike Onwenu was with our team for quite some time. We traded him to the Saints, I believe, and now they have traded him to the Steelers. And so Steelers Mike Onwenu is going to join his former quarterback in the Steeler uniform in Drake May. One more, let's see, we've got another one. We got the Washington Commanders and the Dallas Cowboys, a rare interdivision trade. The Cowboys are going to get defensive tackle Jose Cano to shore up their middle. They're going to trade away the cornerback Jared Mann, who's a 75 overall, and they're going to pick up a draft pick number 7 and draft pick number 4 in the 2032 season again, which is this current draft coming up. So they get 3 potential players for 1 defensive tackle. Jose Cano, Cano, is only a 79 overall. So I don't know. That looked like a pretty. Let's see. I don't know that I think the Commanders won that trade, unless Jose Cano. Unless I have to look at their ages. I can't remember what their ages were. Can't remember. Another trade that happened earlier this season is the Giants and the Jaguars. The Giants picked up a 5th round draft pick in the upcoming draft, a 7th round draft pick in the upcoming draft, and tight end Michael Mayer, who will be a starter for the Giants when he gets over there at 79 overall. And the Jaguars, in exchange for those 2 picks and the tight end, the Jaguars are going to get Deonte Banks, a cornerback who's an 83 overall. They're going to get better on the defensive side of the ball. So unfortunately, I don't have a really great way to show these on the screen. I wish that there was a button, Madden. You need a button where you can press it right here and just anybody who's involved in the trade, just press the button and you can see a snapshot of the trade. Feels like that would be easy just to kind of put up that same picture that we see when we do our trades. So unfortunately, that's how it looks. But you guys get it. Maybe we'll put something on the screen that makes it a little bit easier. I don't know. Okay. All right. So now the next segment of this particular video is the hot and cold teams. And with this hot and cold teams, we kind of play the game of legit or fraud. We're looking at players who have winning streaks. And if players have winning streaks, we're kind of saying, hey, are they with the winning streak? Like, are they really a legit like threat, or is it just that they got hot for a little bit and they actually are not? They're actually a fraud. So let's take a look at it. With the win streaks, the biggest win streak we have right now is we are up there. I think we are legit. We're gonna do that. But take us out of it for the moment. The Patriots is us. And you're gonna have the Chargers, the Eagles, and the 49ers. All with 3 wins. 3 streaks. There are 3 win streaks. What am I trying to say? They have won 3 games in a row. Texans, Chargers, Eagles, and the 49ers are on a 3-game winning streak. The Texans, we'll take a look at these teams. Again, the Texans are in a tough division. We talked about that at the start of the video. The Chargers in a tough division, the Eagles in a tough division. So already these top 3 teams, who knows, man, they may or may not be on the top of things. And then the 49ers kind of came out of nowhere, not been a good game, a good team in this franchise, and they've had a hard go of it. If we were to take a look at these teams' schedules, which is kind of the way we're kind of determining, kind of seeing if it's like strength of schedule, they playing a bunch of really bad teams or whatever that is. We're gonna go to the Texans and we see, okay, so they got their win streak is against the Giants, which was a lowly team. The Jets have been a pretty good team, and the Commanders have been a pretty good team. So the Texans playing well against some pretty good competition. We think the Jets are at least over 500. I think the Jets are 5-4. So they're a medium team. Legit or fraud for the Texans? Man, I'm going to go. I think that defense is crazy good over there. I'm going to say legit for the Texans. The Texans look good defensively. I think their defense can really carry them. They were very good last year, and I think they can do it. Let's take a look at the Chargers real quick. So we're going to go to the Chargers. They're atop the AFC West. Again, a very competitive AFC West. Let's look at the last 4 or 5 games. We looked at week 5. Since week 5, they've won 4 or 5 games. They beat the 49ers, who have a pretty good record. They beat the Raiders. And they lost against the Raiders. They beat the Panthers, a very good team. They beat the Seahawks, not a very good team. They beat the Broncos, not a very good team. Okay, so they had some weaker opponents earlier in the season. Let's see where their losses came from. They got beat by the Jets and the Broncos, and they got beat by the Chiefs. I'm going to say that the Chargers are not legit. I don't think they're going to win the AFC West. They may not make the playoffs. If we look at the rest of their schedule, I have to look. Let me look at something real quick, because I think if we look at the rest of their schedule, let me see who's good and who isn't. You guys are going to see the same chart I'm looking at in a minute. Hold on, I have it on the wrong screen here. I need to see it. There we go. All right, you guys will see it here in just a minute when we get to it toward the end of the video. But looking at this, it looks like the Rams, let's see, what are they? Oh, okay. So they're not a bad team. The Steelers, yeah, I think they could lose against the Rams, the Steelers, the Chiefs. I think they lose their next 3 games. They may beat the Browns. The Cardinals are pretty good this year, so they may lose against the Cardinals, and they may beat the... Yeah, I don't think the Chargers are legit. Chargers are not legit. They've got a nice little win streak. Enjoy it now. But I'm calling it right now. Not legit. Not even a little bit. Okay, who was the other team that we were looking at? It was the Eagles. Let's take a look at them. So again, we talked about them having a very tough year. Okay, so their last 5 games, they've won 3 of their last 5 games. They lost against the Commanders, which is the best team in their division. They lost to the Vikings. The Vikings, I believe, are a championship contender team. Yes, so that makes sense. They beat the Giants. They beat the Cowboys. They beat the Saints. Coming up, they have Panthers, Titans, Browns, Giants. This is going to be interesting. Like the Panthers are 50-50. Titans 50-50. I think they can beat the Browns, Giants. Eagles, for real? What is their record? Overall record? Their overall record is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 4. Let me know what you guys think. You think the Philadelphia Eagles are for real? Looking at this schedule. You know what? I probably should have showed you guys the power rankings beforehand, and this will make you guys can participate in this a little bit better. But we're gonna look at the power rankings at the end because we've already started. Sorry. Let's go ahead and look at the 49ers. Let's see. I think Philadelphia. I think they'll get to the playoffs. With the Commanders playing the way they're playing, depends on what happens with the Cowboys, honestly. Are the Cowboys good enough? That's the question. All right, so the 49ers, are they for real or not? Last 5 games, since week 5, they have won starting week 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've won 3 out of 2. Lost to the Chargers, lost to the Cardinals, 2 very good teams. The Rams, they won. That's a solid team. That's a solid win. Panthers, they won. Solid win. Lions are the worst team in the league right now. 0-4, I believe. I don't think they've won any games, or they may have won 1. Looking ahead, Cardinals are strong. Bears, not so much. Jets. Okay, I think they have a pretty weak schedule. They can get a win here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think 49ers are going to be definitely in the playoffs. I'd be surprised if the 49ers don't get into the playoffs. That would be a surprise. They have a much easier schedule. I don't think they're going to be like championship contenders unless they just really get on a streak and really get it going. Unless they really get it going. Let's look at the cold teams. And this is going to be much easier. Let's see where we're going here. We're going to here, and we're going to look at we looked at the teams with the biggest win streaks. Now let's look at the teams with the biggest losses. The Browns have lost the last 6 games. Look like they won their first 2. No, they got 8 losses. Okay, so they've lost 6 games in a row. The Browns are struggling this year. The Bucks have lost 4 in a row. They started out 4-1 in a very tough division, and now they are down 4-5. That'd be interesting. I'm gonna go and take a look at the Bucks schedule here in just a minute. And then the Broncos have lost 4 in a row. They are 4-5 as well, and playing in a very competitive AFC West. I think that's a big part of that. All these teams, well, except for the Browns, but the Bucks and the Broncos are teams that are playing in, competitive divisions. So things could definitely change, I think, for both of those teams. But we're gonna look at the Buccaneers and see just what the skinny is. Okay, so they beat the Saints, they beat the Eagles, they beat the Vikings. Hold up, the Vikings was a very good team. Wow. Beat the Browns, then they lost to the Panthers and lost to the Saints, lost to the Commanders, really good team. Saints, good team. Panthers, good team. They lost to the Giants, not a very good team. So let's see, they got the Falcons. Important game. Man, what an important game this week is going to be. On Thursday night game for the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Falcons, a rivalry game. I think that's going to be huge for Tampa Bay. They need to get the win there. The Ravens are, let's see, what are they? Are they pretty good this year? Yeah, they're listed as a championship contender. The Bengals, there's a winnable game. Tough game. Tampa Bay has a tough go. Yeah, they need to win. They need to beat the Falcons. They need to beat the Panthers. They can beat the Bengals. Yeah, I think they can turn it around. I think Cincinnati can turn it around. I don't know if they get to the playoffs. Again, very curious what you guys think about that. Let me know what your favorite team is if they showed up in the top situation, either the top the hot teams or the cold teams, and we can kind of get that going. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the Madden power rankings, and this is what I was talking about before. I was kind of looking at this chart away from you. Now this is very interesting, I think, because this is what week 5 looked like. And if you remember, week 5 didn't move a whole lot from week 1. Like, you still had these, I think it was the same 4 teams on the left. I think maybe there was one team that moved from playoff hopeful to rebuilding, and that was a whole thing. But you didn't really have a lot of movement, so there's not a whole lot to talk about. But check out the difference between week 5 and week 10. Here's week 10 right here, and boy, we had a lot of teams. Move. You're looking at week 10 or week 5. You only have 4 championship contenders, and you have a slew of people in the playoff hopefuls. The rebuilding, I think the rebuilding is pretty much the same. But man, in week 10 power rankings, there's 9 teams who believe they had, or at least the media believes, they have a championship opportunity. That's the Denver Broncos. We talked about them earlier, and I kind of said that they were a weak team. I think they're the bottom of the AFC West. I have to go. Are they at the bottom? No, they're not. Yeah, they are. They're at the bottom of the AFC West, but they are championship contenders. I think that's crazy. The Cardinals are in the mix here. The Washington Commanders, championship contender. The New York Jets, that's a surprise that they are showing up as a championship contender, according to the Madden media. The Carolina Panthers, a championship contender team. Patriots, the Ravens, championship contender. The Steelers, and the Minnesota Vikings. So 3 of our quarterbacks, we had Rodney Stevenson with the Panthers. He's got that team vying for championship. Drake May with the Pittsburgh Steelers also vying. There's a good chance we may be facing one or both of those opponents in a potential playoff run. Wouldn't that be interesting, having to face our former all-pro MVP quarterbacks? Looking at the playoff hopefuls, you have the Tampa Bay Bucks, you have the Kansas City Chiefs, the Indianapolis Colts, the Cowboys, the Falcons, the Green Bay Packers, the Rams, and the Titans. Now, what's interesting, man, I think this is always interesting because the ratings don't really, you can tell this is not based on the ratings, because the Broncos, well, the Broncos are fine, but the Cardinals are an 83 overall team as championship contenders. The Bucks are an 87 overall team, and they're playoff hopefuls. So I think that's really interesting. And the teams that we think are rebuilding, there's several of them: Chicago Bears, Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, Buffalo Bills, definitely. Surprised to see the Chargers here. The Chargers, we talked about the Chargers are leading the AFC West. Looks like they think the same thing I do, that the Chargers have a really tough schedule and maybe will not sustain this. The 49ers, again, leading their particular division, and having a big win streak, but they're also down here in the rebuild space. The Eagles, the New York Giants, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Detroit Lions, with 86 and 87 overall for the last couple of years and just have been struggling. The Raiders, I'm surprised to see the Saints down here in 85. I actually think the Saints are going to get into the playoffs. Seahawks and the Texans are also in the rebuilding state. So that's a snapshot of the power rankings. I say power rankings, but it's not like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ranking like that. These are just teams in these 3 categories that helps us understand a little bit more about our league. All right, we're almost done here. Let's take a look at players to watch. Players on the Patriots to watch. So let's take a look at the Patriot team and see which players are making a difference in this particular season so far. Right now, Thurman Cousins is leading all quarterbacks with the most touchdowns. He's got 30 touchdowns, and he's got 8 interceptions. He is leading all quarterbacks, so he is definitely a player to watch in a rich history here of great quarterbacks. Thurman Cousins has stepped up and really fit the bill in that particular area. 2,817 yards. Again, he is just, I think he's played pretty well. Defensively, we still have Mr. Kurt Weber, Mr. Everything on the defensive side. Check him out. He has 49 tackles. That's good enough to be the second most tackles on the team. He's got 11 tackles for loss. That's good enough to lead all players with tackles for loss. He's got 6 sacks as a strong safety. He's in there. He's got 2 interceptions, which lead the team with interceptions with Joel Wheeler. He's also got 8 pass deflections, which is number 2 in the list. And he's also created a fumble alongside a series of players. So Kurt Weber is just everything. And, this is the player that we drafted. He's been great. I think we're going to lose him at the end of the year. So, because we just can't afford to sign him, I think we'll see what it looks like, but I don't think we're going to be able to get him. It's going to be a major blow to our team. So we're going to see if we can win one with him. But yeah, Kurt Weber is doing all the things, man. He is killing it. And then we still have some really good really good rookie. Our rookie class is what's killing it right now. So while we're going to lose Kurt Weber, we really see some positive play out of our rookies. The first person I want to talk about is Dorian Walters. Now, if we take a look at Dorian Walters, we came in off of the practice squad and just blew up, just started playing really well. So we look at his season stats. He's only played these 4 weeks here. You see on the screen, week 6, week 7, week 8, and week 10. And in those 4 weeks, he has 5 touchdowns and he has just about 300. Let's see, what is it? 400 yards. Let me look and see. What is his stats here? He's got 266 yards in those 4 games and 14 receptions and 5 touchdowns. He's been a player that's really helped stretch the defense for our team. Dorian Walters, we're excited to see what he's going to do. 5 touchdowns in 4 games is pretty darn good. Good enough to be the second most touchdown getter on our team. And then we have Stephon Ryans. Stephon Ryans is a wide receiver, 6'2", another rookie. He's just played well. He's led the team with does he have the most receptions? He's got the most receptions, and I think he's got the most yardage. Yeah, at 534 yards. He's got 42 receptions, 6 touchdowns. Stephon Ryans has played very well. Come in, I think he missed the first game of the season and still is leading the team. 2 very good rookies coming in and playing well on the offense. And of course, you have Cody Newby coming in, another rookie, playing the tight end position behind a really good tight end in Jason Stevens. Still Newby able to carve out a place for himself. He's got 34 receptions so far this season. He's got 5 touchdowns as well, 489 yards. Stephon Ryans and Cody Newby are the top 2 passer reception leaders for the Patriots. I think they are displaying a great potential for this offense and for this quarterback as he continues to get better. Defensively, we have a rookie that is playing very well as well. His name is, I think he's a sack leader, or he's not leader, but is it, who is it? It's Kenyon Mobley. Oh yeah, big boy. I forgot about him. Big boy Mobley right down the middle, a rookie defensive tackle. He's got 3.5 sacks this season, 9 tackles for loss, 15 tackles. So he's not getting a lot of tackles. He just kind of clogs up the middle. But 3.5 sacks is a very good stat for this season for a rookie playing in the middle and trying to get it done. And of course, we have another rookie on the defensive side. His name is Ramon Harvey. He's got 6 sacks, leading or tied for the lead with the most amount of sacks, 10 tackles for loss, 18 total tackles. I think he got in a little late as well. Let's take a look real quick and see. Looking at the season stats. Oh no, he's been in there since week 1. Oh yeah, he's played every game. But he's got a couple games here with 2 sacks. I think he had a couple really big plays on the tackles for loss there, and some big tackles on the edge. That right edge is problematic. Really, both of the edges can be problematic for us as running backs are able to get to the outside on us often. And so he's a pretty important one. So yeah, Thurman Cousins, the quarterback, Kurt Weber on the defense, and then it's the rookie class that's just really making a difference for this team. All right, it's week 10, so I don't know that we really need to look at all the rest of the NFL stat leaders. I'll fire through them very quickly. I won't mention any names, but we'll just kind of show some of the screen here, and you can kind of catch it up. You see, yeah, I won't say any names because you can slow it down and you can check it out. So there's a look at the quarterbacks. I can say the top guys. There's Omarion Hampton leading our rushers with 905 yards. And nobody else is even close to him. The receivers, Brandon Ayuk leading all receivers with 836 yards and 8 touchdowns for the 49ers. And then on the defensive side, you have Jack Campbell already with 104 tackles this season. And if we look at the sacks leader, that's going to be Vernon Hills in the Pittsburgh Steelers, young player in his 4th year with Myles Garrett behind him. Interceptions, you have a tie here with Justin Wally from the Titans and Jahdae Barron from the Denver Broncos. And then deflections, Joel Wheeler leads all deflection. He is our guy, and he has played very well. We could have talked about him. We didn't talk about any of the secondary, but secondary playing very good as well. Okay, the last bit of thing we're going to do is take a look at our schedule and see what we think is going to happen in the next few weeks. We do think we can get a win against the Bills. The Lions, it could be a trap game. They on paper, they're ranked very well, but they don't get a lot of wins. The Jets gave us a pretty good game last time we played them, so I think we can get the win there, and I think we can get the win against the Dolphins as well. Packers could be an interesting game, though. I think the Packers could be an interesting game. So I think 4 out of 5 is going to be good for us over the next week, and then we'll catch up and see what you guys think. Hey, I think that's going to do it. That is going to do it, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thoroughly appreciate it. If you enjoy these league updates, then let me know. If there's something that you want me to cover, some statistics or some movement that you think we should cover, then let me know and I can try to figure out how to get that in there. In the meantime, man, we're getting ready for this Buffalo Bills game in our next week, so you'll see that very soon. Also considering doing release a Madden 27 wish list video, and so I'm thinking about doing something like that. Let me know if you think that'll be interesting as well. I already know, actually I've recorded some of it already, so I just got a little slow on getting it posted. But all right, that wraps it up, man. Thanks for hanging out. Thoroughly appreciate it. This is Pastor's Game 2. God loves you, and so do I, and I will see you when I see you. Peace.